Boom! Welcome back, guys. This weekend I went to London Games Market. It was an amazing experience. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. I had an amazing time. It was great. So stay tuned and enjoy. So this stall had a few press kits. This one was for the Ghost of Tsushima. He's got the mask in there, there's a coin and a steelbook. Then he pulls up the board that goes on the top and slides in. Sort of looked like a cutting board, but it was £350, so a bit out of my budget. But this was a really cool press kit. This is definitely a game I'll have to get physically as well. And then he had another press kit here for Cyberpunk. So he opens it up and there's an art book in the right hand side. And then on the left hand side is the steelbook, and then it's all signed by the devs. And then here we've got loads of coasters with basically just Game Boy artwork on the front. Yeah, these are really cool. Bit expensive for what they are, but they were very nice. And then here I was just telling my girlfriend about this little device. It's sort of like an emulator. And then just more PS2 games. We got the Resident Evil 4 Steelbook. So this was a similar price to what was on eBay. I'm in a bit of a Steelbook craze lately. Oh boys, and then this, Ratchet & Clank 3, really wanted to add it to the collection, but the front cover was just in really bad condition. And for the price it was, I think it was about 10 quid, I just left it. And then here, a Spanish Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction, just not what I wanted. Got a Pokemon Explorers of Time Mystery Dungeon. And then Worms 4 Mayhem, another pickup of the day. Loads of Steelbooks here, so we got Batman 1, Beyond Two Souls, just not really what I was looking for at the moment. This was the second room. It was a little bit smaller than the first. Boom! Nosehair jump scare. Type in nose hairs if you got this far, guys. And then here was another booth. I was buying Eden here. Bought in cash because it was very cheap. So he's just laying out my change for me. I've gone to grab it and then, I saw the game. And then my girlfriend, greedy little person, grabs it. What are you doing? That is my money. Anyway, so yeah, we got Eden. This is a really cool game, actually. I've read online. Very cool concept. This was another booth that I bought Sonic Heroes from. I just struck up a conversation with the guy. He was telling me about how he gets his stock in. And then he had a Zelda, the Hyrule edition over there. He didn't want to sell it because he really liked it. And then these were some Silent Hill 2 guidebooks, which were really cool, but they was in Japanese. So, but talking about Silent Hill 2, I do actually still need to buy the game. If you guys want to see gameplay of that, and that'd be my first one, comment down below and I will definitely do gameplay. And then Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. I've been looking for this in CX forever, and The Suffering as well, but I found them both at the same booth, so I got a really good deal on them. I think I got about £4 off of Fallout Game of the Year edition, which was a great touch. And then here as well, peep at the top, the Test PS2. I've never seen that. Ending off the day with ramen from Uzumaki. If you love anime, you have to go here. All right, and that was it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that montage. That was probably a lot longer than I normally do. My girlfriend came with me as well. I dragged her along, kicking and screaming. I promised her some food, so she came along, obviously. It was great. I had a really good time. It was really crowded. People don't have any spatial awareness, but whatever. There was, tons of games. I got speaking to a guy as well, sort of just like where he gets his games from. One of the guys that was at the stalls, he was saying like he gets loads of it from collectors. They bulk buy it from eBay, but there was tons, as you saw, tons and tons of games. I picked up some games myself, so we're gonna go through them. First one up, I had this when I was a kid and I played it all the time. This was my first ever game of this franchise. I played it all the time. Absolutely loved it. This is Worms 4 Mayhem. What an incredible game. I think this might have been the first 3D game that they made for Worms. Normally it was 2D, sort of like you'd take turns trying to basically kill each other's worms. In this one, they did 3D arenas, basically. I remember there was one where it was in a castle. There was like a team mode on there. I think I used to play by myself, and I would like switch teams. So the team would switch and I'd obviously keep the controller to myself, but I would just get like the best weapons and just try and destroy like the whole arena pretty much. I think in all the Worms games, the arena gets destroyed, but in this one, because it was 3D, it was literally like a battle scene. It was crazy. Yeah, you can see it down there. There was this, it was either called like the Holy Bomb or like the Holy Grenade or something, and it was like a nuke. It would just wipe out like the entire arena. This was a sick game, right? It was basically just destroy the fuck out of this arena as best as you can, really. But this was good. How much did it cost? This was £3, which wasn't too bad. I didn't look up CEX prices for this one. I did for a lot of the other games. People have said this games market, they do it in lots of different locations. So this one was in London, but there's been some in like Edinburgh, Manchester, cities and towns across Scotland, Wales probably, and England. Don't get me wrong, the prices for some of these games are ridiculous! You can easily get better in CEX. In CEX, you can't haggle the price. When you go to CEX, if something costs £5, it costs £5. If you go to one of these booths and you pick up maybe 5 games and you go to the fella, oh, can you do us a deal on this one? Or, oh, how, what do you say about this one? Could you do me £12? And especially if you're paying in cash, because I think they're all money laundering, but if you pay in cash, they will more than likely do you a deal and stuff. So it is massively worth going to these. Show you the back as well. Basically just shows you like weapons you can use and stuff. This came complete too, so there's a manual in there as well, which is nice, and obviously a disc is in there. But yeah, this is a great pickup. Really enjoyed this when I was a kid. One of my favorite games. Okay, next one up is another game that I had in my childhood. A lot of these I did have in my childhood, and I wanted to replace them because I think I said in my first video that I'd sold all of my PlayStation 2 games. But this is Sonic Heroes. I used to love this game. This game was fantastic. Really nice. This has also come in a protective sleeve as well. I don't have any of these, so I might keep it for maybe a game that I really enjoy. I can't remember how much I paid for this one. Oh, no, I do. It was £5. I was looking around for this one, and I looked it up on CEX, and it obviously cost £5 in CEX. A lot of the prices there are CEX prices. I had a list of games that I wanted, and when I found them, I searched up the price, and if they were a good price, I would just buy them. £5 is £5. But for other games that are a bit more expensive, I did haggle a little bit, just because you can get games cheaper if you do that. But this is a great game. I had this on PlayStation 2 when I was a kid. I got up to a point where like you play as Sonic, obviously, because it's Sonic Heroes, and I think you meet up with Amy and like her crew. I think it's Amy, like the pink hedgehog or whatever she is, and like her crocodile friend, and the game would always freeze. That was it. Like it would load up, but just load forever, and it was only that point. I think it must have been halfway through the game or something. Really, really annoying. It's been like a scratch on the disc at that point. Yeah, this was a really fun game. Yeah, this is like a 3D Sonic game. You sort of switch between 3 layers. So you've got left, middle, and right, and you can switch between the two and collect the rings. But on the back as well, yeah, so you can see you've got Team Sonic, Team Rose, Team Chaotix, and Team Darks. Team Dark is Shadow's team. Team Chaotix is the one with the crocodile. Team Rose is the one with Amy. And obviously Team Sonic is Sonic's team. So yeah, this was a really good game. Really, really fun. I used to love racing around as Sonic. I think you can switch between different players on this one. This is a really nice game. Right, next one up leads on from the last game I just showed. This is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight.
Yeah, this is not a game I'm actually highly familiar with. Got it because I don't know if the Shadow movie has come out yet, or it's coming out, or it has been out, sorry. I know there's the Sonic Generations with Shadow now coming out as well. And I saw this on CEX and I thought, you know what, I'd love to have a go at this. I like Sonic, and this one's a bit different. With Shadow the Hedgehog, he has like guns in this one. It's a lot similar to the normal Sonic gameplay. In this one, it's a bit of a third-person shooter. I've heard you can drive vehicles in this one as well. There's choice-based gameplay. I think on different missions you have a good, bad, and hero mission choice, which determines the next mission you play, which then determines your outcome at the end. I have also read up that this has been criticized for some of the worst gameplay of a Sonic game ever made. Apparently the guns you can't aim, the lock-on attacks that Shadow does are really bad. Controls are a mess. Came out in 2005. Critics criticized it for like the dark themes, the guns. I don't know, you'll have to play it, or I'll have to play it and maybe give my thoughts about it as well. I know some of you guys have been asking about that as well. This game does intrigue me. The front cover, like Shadow is a cool character, right? You know, Sonic is like the goody two shoes brother to Shadow. Shadow's just that edgy kind of guy. Some people do like Knuckles over Shadow. It just caught my eye, to be honest with you. I haven't seen a Sonic game with guns that caught my interest. But in this one, the premise of it is that Shadow has amnesia in this game, and he's basically trying to discover his past and try and get his memories back while there's an alien invasion occurring in, I don't know where this actually takes place. I think memory says to me that it's like Crisis City, something like that. Maybe someone down below can correct me on that. I'm not sure where this takes place. Just some made up like city in the Sonic universe. But yeah, in this one, you've got characters Sonic, the Commander, Dr. Eggman is in this one, and then Black Doom as well, as you can see there. The 4 characters. Obviously Shadow's in this too, because it's Shadow the Hedgehog. But yeah, this one, I paid £8 for this, which is basically CEX price. I've seen on eBay you can probably get cheaper, but you have to post it. So it's pretty much £10 across the board, really. I'm excited to play this one. I'm excited to see how bad this is, if it is bad. Next one up, this is Eden. This is very unassuming from the front cover. So I believe that's like an elevator or a lift, you know, for British and American people. So it's going down. So basically it's a futuristic city that is built upon layers and layers and layers. So I think as you go down, you get more into the draggy, dirty kind of scenes, the hood, as some would say. But yeah, so right in the foundations of the city is where shite goes down, right? So this task force of 4 playable characters take this lift down each level, and each level they have to face something new, and they're basically just trying to do some crowd control pretty much of some trouble that's happening on the lower levels. So you go down this lift. I guess each level will be obviously a level in the game, but yeah, it says on the back that you can switch between all 4 players. You switch between first person and third person. It's sort of action, exploration, and puzzle solving, which I'm really into those type of games. Like the Resident Evil, there's action, puzzle solving, especially the original ones. A lot of puzzle solving in those ones. Yeah, exploration, action, and puzzle solving. And you can obviously switch to character controlled equipment, so like drones, hover cameras, stuff like that. So this is I saw this on CEX and it did intrigue me. I searched up some gameplay of it as well, and it looked pretty good. It's obviously a PS2 game. The graphics aren't great. This is a very interesting game, a very interesting concept. No other game I've seen that's done something like that. Very interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is the last PS2 game that I bought. This one was like £2-3 cheaper than what was in CEX. This one cost £15. The CEX one cost £18. And then I bought this one and the next game I'm going to show at the same booth, and I gave him both and said, oh, what would you do for them? And he gave me 25. So I already had £2 off it because of how it's priced. And then the next game I got, well, basically £4 off that. I got the next game for £10. Crazy. But this is very interesting. This is The Suffering on PlayStation 2. Very, very cool game. Basically, the premise of this is you play as a main character called Tor. And what happens is he's been put on death row, I believe for a murder he didn't commit. I think he'd put on death row because he'd murdered his girlfriend, but he hadn't committed the crime. And basically a earthquake hit like the prison, and these monsters are coming out of nowhere. Like this earthquake has shifted the mortal plane, I guess, and has allowed these monsters to travel into this reality. And the monsters, I'll show you on the back as well. You can see there if it focuses. So the monsters are based lightly, some of them are, on how death row inmates have historically been killed on death row, which is an insanely amazing detail to add to a game, especially a PS2 game. I'll read you the back as well. So it says, prison is hell. Experience the terror as you fight your way out of the maximum security penitentiary, overrun with ghastly creatures. Your desperate bid to escape this horrific prison and the island that surrounds it is only the beginning, as you learn the truth behind the suffering. Full arsenal of brutal weapons. Transform into a hideous and powerful beast. A horde of ghoulish monsters representing vicious execution. Experience 3 different endings based on your actions. So that's cool as well. So this has got obviously choices, different endings. I quite like that. Adds a lot of replay to it. You know, dude as well, crying for his life, trying to get out of there. Well, there's like a guy right in the back. Me with my uncle. I'm sorry to trauma dump on you guys. Ignore that. I've seen gameplay of this. This is like, for a PS2 game, this is interesting. I've seen like a few cutscenes. I've seen a bit of gameplay. I'm fucking excited to get into this one, to be honest with you. I'll show you the inside as well. I took a quick look at the manual, which is quite nice. So, oh, that's cool. They've got like a detailed, wouldn't say schematic, but of the PS2, just tells you what plugs into what pretty much. Obviously the controller as well. And then they've got these bits here. So it takes place on Carnate Island there. And it gives you like a quick rundown of the island pretty much, like a status report kind of thing. But it takes you through the main game, takes you through like how you can set up your game and all that. As well, you can see the weapons here. So you've got a flashlight or a torch, as the English would say. Probably like a health kit weapon. You've got akimbo pistols, normal pistol, smoke grenades, all that lovely stuff. All that stuff you've got to use to to fend yourself off. There's a turret there as well you can probably use at one point. More weapons, see a shotgun there, Molotov cocktail, a shiv, because obviously you're in prison. And yeah, very, very, very interesting game. I would recommend people pick this up, to be honest with you, because the gameplay looks exciting. And yeah, this is a good pickup as well. What the inside looks like, basically. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I got a good deal on this one. So right, next one up. So as I said previously, this is also one I got from the same booth. I basically got this £4 off. This is Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. So this has got a different cover to Fallout 3 that I bought in the last haul. The disc is a bit different, so it basically just says Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. This comes with all of the DLCs. So it comes with Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta. Guys, I'm sorry, right? I know I claim these were my favorite games, and Fallout 3 and New Vegas are some of my favorite games, but I've never played the DLC. Arrest me. Please, arrest me. Take me to the brig. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say to you guys. Honestly, I've left myself speechless. This is the reason I want Game of the Year, because then I can play these and I can play all of the DLC. I logged onto my PS3 the other day and I forgot they've closed the stores down, so you can't buy any DLC anymore, I don't think. These are some of the only ways you can get DLC. Maybe these are going to go up in price because the stores have shut down. But yeah, I tried to go on the PlayStation Store the other day and it's just empty, which is very, very unfortunate. I wish they kept them up. I can understand it's a costly thing when no one's going to use it. I'll read you the list of DLCs on the back as well. Operation Anchorage. Enter a military simulation and fight in the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska, from its Chinese communist invaders. The Pit. Travel to the post-apocalyptic remains of Pittsburgh and become embroiled in a conflict between slaves and their raider masters. Broken Steel. Increase your level cap to 30 and finish the fight against the Enclave remnants alongside Liberty Prime. Point Lookout. Embark on a mysterious and open-ended adventure in a huge murky swampland along the coast of Maryland. Mothership Zeta. Defy hostile alien abductors and fight your way off of the mothership, orbiting miles above the capital wasteland. I tell a lie, that's just brought back a memory. I have played Mothership Zeta, not completely, but I have played a little bit of it. I love Fallout when they add aliens to it. I just think it's sick, especially Fallout New Vegas when you had to pick the Wild Wasteland perk, and that was the only way you could see the aliens. You went to like the back of the map, and there was like these aliens there, and you just shot them, and you got the alien ray gun. It came with loads of bullets, but they were the only bullets you could have. You couldn't find any more, you couldn't make any more. And as well with Fallout 4, you had a random encounter, I think where you reached a certain level, potentially level 25. You would be in like the middle of Boston, and this spaceship would fly overhead, and you had to you would see it go a certain direction, and you'd be like, what the hell, where's that going? And then you'd have to follow it, and then along the trail of where it's gone, you would find it crashed in this like random clearing in a forest or something, and you had to follow like this green blood trail because it's an alien. You went into this cave and you heard this alien speaking like a different language, like alien language, and you basically just use that and like execute him, and his head would explode, poor guy, but at least you get a ray gun. Oh, okay, next one. Oh man, I've had with this one, this has been so frustrating. First of all, as you saw in the montage, I was looking for Ratchet and Clank games, and they were nowhere to be found. Nowhere. No booth had Ratchet and Clank. If a booth had Ratchet and Clank, it had the first one, and I bought the first, and I found the first one about 4 times, and I found Ratchet and Clank 3, but it was in such bad condition, like really bad, and I just went, there's no fixing this. I'd have to buy a new case. I probably could do on the cheap, but I can't really be bothered. Anyway, this is Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction in a protective cover, which is nice. Got this for £5. I didn't check the CEX price, so I could have got ripped off. Probably did at some point, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. Tools of Destruction was my first Ratchet & Clank game. Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction, this game was sick. This and A Crack in Time, I think, were their best games. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I've played Ratchet & Clank 3, and I know Ratchet & Clank 3 is supposed to be really, really good, maybe the best in the franchise, dare I say. Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction, I remember in this one, there was loads of secrets in this one, loads of stuff that you had to go back to certain planets to get. You could planet hop as well, which was a really nice touch. Each planet was so different. I remember one of the first planets was like more of a swampy one. But yeah, I remember there being like a weapon with like a saw. You could shoot it. Sort of like the one in Dead Space, where you shoot the saw out and it like pings across the room and kills enemies. And then I spent loads of time in the arena trying to like level up and trying to get rewards and stuff. And that was really fun. I'm excited to get back into this one and to complete it one day again. But this is interesting. So that is the front cover to the British Tools of Destruction. And this is the American one. So I have the American one. You can see the ESRB rating, whereas in England we have a PEGI rating. So that massively different. I like the American one way better. Even the sides are different. The American one looks a lot better. Well, even the backs are different. I didn't even realize that. Even the backs are different. But yeah, this one looks a lot nicer, I'm gonna say. But I just wanted the British one because Monkey Brain say get the English one. That's all. I'm a slave. I'm a slave to my own programming. It's actually fun to hunt for these. And I'll tell you this, I brought my girlfriend along. She doesn't really like gaming. We're actually playing The Quarry at the moment together. That's the only, apart from The Sims that she had on the iPad, that's the only game she's really been into. We played Until Dawn together and she really enjoyed that. We played Little Hope together. I think that was one of our first ones we played because it was on PlayStation Plus. We played The House of Ashes, which I really didn't enjoy. We didn't complete that. It was just like watching a movie and it wasn't an enjoyable movie, right? So we walked out of the cinema. But we're playing The Quarry at the moment. I really like The Quarry. It is good. The characters are, you wanna see how these people interact with each other. You wanna see how their relationships pan out. In the previous games and the Dark Anthology ones, which are like the small spin-off, you don't really care that much about the characters. But in The Quarry, I really do at least. And right now, it's a really good game. What was that? Why did I segue onto that? Sorry, I was talking about how it's good to hunt for games. So like, I have the American one, I could have just kept it, but I wanted to hunt for the normal one. And I'd been to a couple of CEXs before, and they had like 2 copies there. One was Platinum, and one was Best Hit, or PlayStation Hit. And it's just, they just don't look good on the shelf. Like my Little Big Planet 2 is not, I don't like it because it's a Platinum, so I'm going to replace it at some point. I wanted to hunt for it, and I got my girlfriend to like hunt around for Ratchet and Clank, so she was like laser beaming on like Ratchet and Clanks, and she did find some. Unfortunately, I already had them. We went to a booth that had 2 of them. They had Gladiator, I accidentally bought 2 of, and they had Ratchet and Clank, the first one, which is unfortunate, but if I hadn't had them, I definitely would have bought them. Or had to grab some water. I've been talking for like half an hour. Hopefully this video is not too long. Probably is. This isn't a game per se. Isn't a game. This is a steelbook with no game. So Resident Evil 4 steelbook. Now I looked this up on eBay. I looked up the steelbook on eBay. I got this for £7, and the ones on eBay were selling it for about £7. I can see the in CX Resident Evil 4 is £28 at the moment. I believe it's going to come down in price at some point. It's a fairly new game, but I have it digitally anyway. So I thought, you know what? The steelbook looks sexy and nice. It was fairly cheap. No game, unfortunately, but I have it digitally, so it's not a problem. Thought, you know what? If I have it digital and I've played it before, having the steelbook to just sit in the collection is not a bad shout, to be honest with you. £7, I don't, that's the inside by the way, but yeah, £7. I wasn't too sure. It was a little bit of a compulsory purchase kind of thing. I don't think I broke the bank, to be honest with you. £7 for a steelbook, not too bad, to be honest with you. No game, unfortunately. No manual either. Man. Yeah, it pees me off. Pees me off when there's no manual. Call me a pretentious douchebag. Gotta have a manual, man. Gotta have a manual. I like the physical touch of a manual. I need the physical touch of a manual more than I need the physical touch of a woman. Do you understand? But that's it, guys. End of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit a subscribe. Please hit a like down below. This was such a fantastic experience, by the way. If you made it this far, comment. I don't know. What should you comment? Comment down below if you made it this far, whether I got shafted or not for these prices. If I did, I'll put my hands up. I'm a noob to this a little bit, but you know, we're still learning. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.